Hello, everyone. As you can see, Democrats are united, and we're standing strong. As we've said from the very beginning, we're ready to work across the aisle to fund government that protects Americans' health care. Unfortunately, Donald Trump has other plans for Republicans. In fact, he said, don't even bother dealing with them when it came to negotiating with Democrats. And it's clear why. While Democrats have been focused on putting American families first, Trump has been focused on putting himself first. He and Republicans showed us their priorities with the big ugly law. They put billionaires over families, corporations over workers, profits over people, wealth over health. Well, Democrats have made it clear that we didn't stand for these policies then, and we're making it clear again now. We will not rubber stamp Republicans' continuing resolution that does nothing to fix the healthcare crisis that they've created. Yeah. If congressional Republicans fail to act, premiums will skyrocket 90% next year for over 20 million Americans who rely on the Affordable Care Act credits, and over 4 million Americans who will lose health care coverage. Let's put this in real terms. Children won't be able to get their medication. Seniors won't be able to see their doctor. Your neighbors will still get sick, and they'll all be out of luck if House Republicans have their way. That's why, once again, we're going to call for our Republican colleagues to join us in doing the right thing. Work with us for the good of our country and for the good of our people. Thank you. And I'll turn it over to the Democratic whip, Catherine Clark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. It is good to be with all of my colleagues here today. We are living in very difficult times. The air around our politics is crackling with potential violence. The lionization of hatred has opened deep wounds. And most importantly, the American dream is out of reach for many. The top 1% controls more wealth than our nation's entire middle class. While households in this country, most households, 60%, cannot afford the basics. Donald Trump rode into the presidency on the promise of giving those households a break, making life more affordable, giving hardworking people some breathing room. And he and his loyalists in the House have betrayed that promise. They have made life harder and more expensive, soaring the cost of groceries, clothes, and utility bills. Nowhere is this betrayal of the American people more evident than the Republicans' deep cuts in health care, denying millions of Americans the ability to get the care they need. Republicans have voted to kick 15 million people off of their health insurance. They have stripped Medicare of $500 billion. Today in their budget, they are prepared to cancel the coverage for another 4 million people while they soar premiums for everyone. The Republicans are voting to close hospitals and nursing homes. They are voting to defund cancer screenings, maternity care, and medical research. They are dismantling the public health system that keeps us safe. All of this pain and cost is to give tax cuts to the extremely wealthy. Well, we are here to say the American people deserve better. And when Donald Trump says, don't work with Democrats on a budget, he is saying, don't work for families at home. Americans deserve a lifeline. They deserve to have the tools to build their own success. They don't deserve to be pushed down and left behind. Democrats believe that people deserve health care that is affordable and available. care that is treated as a right and not a luxury item. Republicans created this bill, this budget, all on their own. And if they want to pass a budget that rips away health care, destroys jobs, and soars costs, if they want to make health care a luxury reserved for the rich, they can do that on their own. Democrats will be voting for the American people. We will be voting for people like Claire Sachs and Rico Winston. Claire, who has joined us, is a small business owner who's here with us today to talk about that she's a hardworking entrepreneur and she depends on the ACA to get by. We are voting today for the American people and for Claire. And Claire, thank you for coming and sharing your story. The mic is yours.
Hi, I'm Claire Sachs, entrepreneur and founder of TPAC Consulting in Washington, D.C. I'm here today because Congress is facing a decision that will determine whether millions of entrepreneurs like me can keep their businesses open. The enhanced premium tax credits that help many small business owners afford health care coverage expire in mere weeks. Without them, rising health care costs would force many small entrepreneurs, including me, to close their doors. I have 4 decades of experience in the healthcare system. In 1983, B-strep spinal meningitis triggered type 1 diabetes, which resulted in a cascade of 15 additional diagnoses. 16 is pending. Here's my reality. I literally can't live without affordable health care. I use an insulin pump that without coverage would cost $7,500, and the insulin that goes in it runs about $330 a vial, and I need 36 vials a year. Altogether, my health care costs without coverage would be about $30,000. That's a whole 50% of my annual living expenses. Before the Affordable Care Act passed, I was job locked. I only worked for companies that could afford my health insurance. Starting my own business wasn't even a twinkle back then, because had I approached an individual policy provider, they would have laughed me out of the room. Fortunately, the passage of the ACA changed the rules around pre-existing conditions. That was a good thing because in 2020, I was laid off due to COVID. But I was able to launch my business because the ACA enhanced premium tax credits made it possible to get affordable health coverage on my own. Today, those credits are the only reason I can afford both my business and my health. And I am not alone. According to a Small Business for America's Future survey, 55% of businesses have owners, employees, and or families who rely on premium tax credits. But those credits expire at the end of the year. Kaiser Family Foundation estimates that insurance rates will spike an average of 20%. For many small businesses operating on slim margins, a 20% healthcare increase is mathematically impossible to absorb and will force a lot of hard choices. I would likely have to close my doors and get a job that offers insurance benefits. Small business owners are facing economic pressure from a lot of corners this year, from tariffs to inflation to a tax code that favors our larger corporate competitors. A dramatic rise in the cost of health insurance could be the nail in the coffin for many of us. 30 million small businesses employ half of America's workforce. We are the backbone of America's economy, providing jobs and economic activity in every community across this country. These credits are an investment in our entrepreneurship that pays off many times over. When you price entrepreneurs out of healthcare, you risk taking millions of productive members of society out of our economy. We need our leaders to take action. Extend the enhanced premium tax credits now. Small businesses built this economy, and while managing our health conditions, we deserve health care that doesn't bankrupt us for needing medicine. Thank you. And now I'm going to pass it to Rico Winston.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rico Winston. I'm the proud father of an amazing young man who's created and designed by God perfectly, and he has a diagnosis on the autism spectrum. His name is Israel. I am concerned about how America and the world will look at him, what inequality and racial divides will be awaiting him due to the color of his skin and the fact that he has a disability. Medicaid is not a luxury, it is a difference between security and fear. No parent should ever have to choose between putting food on the table or taking their child to the doctor. Also, no family should ever lose medical coverage. It is peace of mind. When people have access to care, communities are stronger, children grow up healthier, and families are able to move forward without being crushed by medical debt. Strength and empowerment ripples outward when our communities thrive. States and our nation thrive. The positive impact is undeniable. At the heart of this is a simple truth. Every single person deserves the dignity of care, regardless of income, circumstance, or zip codes. Thank you. Health care is not just policy, it is humanity. Invest in Israel and all Americans, providing Medicaid, which is essential for the development and growth and the future of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Rico and Claire. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for sharing your powerful stories about how important Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act are to you, your families, and illustrating the importance of health care to all Americans. Today, there's a choice before every single member of the House of Representatives. Will we stand up for the health care of the American people, or will we bend the knee to Donald Trump and his continued efforts to gut health care for everyday Americans? House Democrats are clear. We don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for J.D. Vance. We don't work for Elon Musk. We work for the American people. And that is why we are a hard no on the partisan Republican spending bill, because it continues to gut the health care of everyday Americans. Now, House Democrats are willing to work with anyone, anywhere, at any time in order to make life better for the American people and lower the high cost of living. The partisan Republican spending bill fails that test. It will actually make life more expensive, make health care more expensive for the American people. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have launched an all-out assault on health care in America. Republicans have slashed Medicaid with the largest cut in history. Republicans are dramatically raising premiums, copays, and deductibles for tens of millions of Americans. Republicans are forcing hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics to close all across the country, including in rural America. Republicans have set in motion a $536 billion cut to Medicare. And Republicans are cutting off funds for medical research, even for children with cancer. It's unacceptable, unconscionable, un-American, and Democrats are not going to stand for it at all. At all. Democrats are fighting hard to cancel the cuts. Democrats are fighting hard to lower the costs. Democrats are fighting hard to save your health care. Democrats will defend the health care of the American people today. Democrats will defend the health care of the American people tomorrow. Democrats will defend the health care of the American people at all times. Vote no. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save your health care. We're voting no on the partisan Republican spending bill, and will continue to defend the health care of the American people.